Dev. It's time for another daily visual dev. I've created my project in Arcana, and I'm going to jump to modify, upload my image. And I'm going to pick, let's pick this guy here. Okay, so this kind of weird snail thing with this mechanical shell. So let's just prompt turn into a photorealistic weird snail creature with a mechanical shell and an earpiece. Because that's basically what it is. And let's turn our transformation up. I'm going to use Seedream 4.4. Let's use Seedream 4. And I'm going to specify, let's go ahead and do this as a 16:9. Sometimes if you leave same, you get some errors. So I've done one. It's going to give me 4 generations. Something I like to do in the prompt when I remember to do it is give me a grid of 4. So we'll do that. Okay, they're in Seedream. It looks like didn't really hang on to my sketch much. Not that I dislike these. I mean, I could totally use those for something else. And then with the grid, okay, we're still in Seedream 4, but adding that grid this time, it kept a little bit of that. That's really weird. We'll play around with that though. Okay, it's got these little drawings around the side. That's bizarre. These are not the worst thing I've ever seen. These aren't particularly useful. Let's go ahead and try it in Nano Banana Pro. Same prompt. Maybe turn the transformation down. Now sometimes with the high contrast of a sketch, it has trouble interpreting that. So let's also, while we're waiting on that, let's make this a marker drawing with a purple snail with a copper colored mechanical shell and big white teeth. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that as a single image. Okay, these Nano Banana ones are in. Okay, so if you look at the bottom right here, that did get some of that reference. We didn't get a full body version of that, but it got the ears, it got the large teeth, it got a lot of it, and just gave it some different angles. So I'm not unhappy with that. That's gross. I like that. I like that weird extra row of teeth down there. These are all kind of the same thing, but they're all pretty good. This one really gets the look of it. Again, it didn't get the full body, but there's enough stuff to go on there. So, all right, we got some color versions. Let's play around with a couple of these. This went kind of off a little bit. I don't mind it, so let's move it over. And now let's just make this a photoreal creature in a white room. And make a grid of 4 of this as a photoreal creature in a white room. Let's bump our transform up a little bit. We're going to stick with, actually we've got more detail here, so I'm going to see what Seedream 4 does with it. It might be all right. And I'm also going to try Flux Context Max. When you give it something like that with a little more color detail, it can do some good stuff too. Actually, let's jump down to Flux Context Pro. A little cheaper on the credits. And then this one really adheres to our sketch more, so let's move it over and let's do it in Context Pro also. All right, so that's our Seedream 4. Not as photorealistic as I'd like, but there we go. We're starting to get it. And then this is our Context Pro. That's not at all what I was expecting. Nor is that. No. All right, so Context Pro did not do what I wanted. And it didn't like that either. Although, again, new designs that I wouldn't have otherwise, come up with. So let's try to get this guy. So let's jump back up to Nano Banana Pro 2K. Now let's jump to Nano Banana. Okay, I see what happened here. I meant to do photorealistic on these, but when I clicked on an older version to get back to it, it put the old prompt in. Put the old prompt, but that's fine. That's whatever. Let's go back to make this photorealistic with highly detailed textures, sliminess, copper, a copper shell with panel lines, mechanical details, tubes, and wires. So we gave it a lot to go with there. Let's go to Nano Banana 16.9. What the heck? Let's go ahead and do a grid of 4. Grid of 4. While I'm doing that, let me jump back to one of these earlier ones that kind of I liked. This one, it's got this bizarre kind of face on the front with these 2 little flap teeth things. So this, just as an image, I don't know that I can do much with, but what's slick is that if I send this to motion now and just use Seedream make creature turn slithering toward camera. And look left or right. And generate that. And just see what happens. It'll separate this maybe from the shell and then do its own thing, and we'll see what we get. We're back to modify, where we've got the photorealistic version of this, which I kind of like that. Okay, these are getting there. These are, as illustrations, are okay. This, I like this one top left quite a bit, and I like it in its environment here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this, hop to Photoshop, open it, crop it to 16:9. Save it. Jump back over here. Change my image. Okay, there we go. So we've got it, and now let's ask for a page of different views in this environment. I'm going to go ahead and give Flux another chance here. I'm going to use Seedream 4 and give it another chance also, or give it a chance also. All right, the Flux ones are in. It handled that a little bit better. That one just zoomed out some. So these are kind of okay, just compositional starts. Our motion is in. Let's check out and see what happened with this guy. I'm curious. Okay, I like that. He's all right. So now what I've got is I've got a little bit different take on him in some different angles. So what I can do is pause this. And let's say if we get this where his, I guess, mouth is out and there's more room between the neck and the shell. We could save that. We can save that frame. Now if I wanted to go back and play around with some different views of that, we could do that. Let's go to modify. We've got some new stuff in. Okay, I like that. These are good views. Again, I'm just trying to generate things to work with, not necessarily even finished pieces. Just things I can play around with. So let's take this one, send it to motion. So snail creature turns slithering. let's do Snail pokes its head out in front. Quickly looks left, then right, and slides quickly out of frame. And I'm going to use Seed Dream for this, or Seed Dance for this, and generate. Let's go back to modify. It looks like we've got one we didn't look at. Maybe I missed it somewhere. I think I want to see if I can do a little more with this guy. So let's download it. And Photoshop, open it. The one, the bottom right seems, or the bottom left seems the most promising. So let's crop him. Save it. Oh, got to flatten it. Back into Arcana, change our image from the computer. We'll use Nano Banana Pro for this. And make super realistic with texture, with high detail, texture. And let's see. Let's mute the colors a little. Let's go ahead and just say 4K and super detailed. Let's also add rust and wear to the shell. Let's crank the transformation up a little bit more than I normally like to go. Hit that, go back to motion here. Let's see what we got. Okay, I ran this on one I did not intend to, but with it, there are probably some frames I could pull out and continue to play around with this version of the thing. Like, that's a good profile. If I wanted to save that frame and mess around with that, I could. Let's go ahead and try this other one again. Okay, and so we've got our image loaded, pokes its head out in front, quickly looks left, right, slides quickly out of frame. Let's use, let's try clean 01 for this and see what we get. Generate. Back to modify, we get some new stuff in. Here. Ooh, there we go. That's a little much. That's okay. So all of these are not too bad. This is the one that keeps the eyes the most, so I'm going to play around with it. Let's send it to motion. No, let's not send it to motion. Let's move to source. And ask for different expressions and poses. And let's see what kind of posing it can do with such a limited design. And we're going to go with Nano Banana Pro for that. I think that'll do an okay job. We'll also do Nano Banana. Okay. So there we go. These are all right. Oh, it added eyes on a couple, which I kind of like this guy here. I kind of like this guy. He's even more bizarre. Again, none of those are options I would have necessarily picked. This one kind of stuck with this design. But all of these I can, kind of take stuff from. Let's take this one and send it to motion. And snail creatures look angrily at each other. And move toward camera. Curiously approaching the camera up close. Some of that's redundant, but that's okay. We'll hit stick with clean, do that. And then this one is in from this guy. Let's see what we got. Okay, so it pulled the head away there, which was good. So we've got like a different kind of, we have a little more definition as to what that could look like. So that gives us this profile on this that we could then save it as a frame. We could take it and work it over in Photoshop or Procreate or something like that. I'd like the shell design. That's nice. So that's, again, I might just pull elements from this. Back to modify here, see what we got. I don't think we've missed anything. But some of these would make really fun art toys. Which might be something I'd, investigate with these later on. All coming from, a fairly simple sketch. This is what we started with, right? And so then in a few minutes, a couple hundred credits, we've got lots of options to play with, all without leaving Arcana except to just hop over to Photoshop and crop some stuff. It's not a bad production workflow to generate stuff quickly and still have control over it with your original art. Go back to this one. That really held on to a lot of the details in the sketch, like this hose, this circular thing, the teeth. It added this bottom lip with those teeth, but I don't dislike that. It got the eyes, it got the headphone. I think I have to do something with that one. So I'm going to download it. Open. Save it, go back in. Let's go back to motion. Oh, our last one's in here. Let's check it out. So this one, what's interesting is that at a point in the animation, it matched this snail on the right to the face of the one on the front, which I might not dig as much as the one without the eyes. So that's just a matter of the model. I might, you know, I would play around with it in some other models and see what it got, or specify that the anatomy doesn't change on them. Whatever. Go ahead and change this image. Select from my computer. Get this one. Okay, we've got our image. Let's go ahead and I'm going to use VO3 for this. And let's just do a 6-second animation. Camera zooms out slowly as the snail moves forward and right toward the camera. VO3 will do some audio, so let's add muttering to itself and shaking its head dejectedly. Slight orbit left on camera. Focus remains on Snail's face. Shallow depth of field. All right, let's generate that. So that was in VO3. I'm going to go ahead and do it in Dance Pro 720p. Okay, those are in. So this is the VO one.
Oh, not again. Why does this always happen to me? Oh, not again. Why does this always happen to me?
All right,
oh,
that's
not again.
a little unexpected, but that's all right. Just playing here. This one, much better acting on the snail in the face. I like that a lot. So yeah, and that was Dance Pro version. It's like VO's, in this case, VO's dialogue got in its way a little bit.
Oh, not again. Why does this always happen to me? Oh, not again. Why does this always happen to me? Oh,
but all right.
Not again. Why does this always happen to me? Oh, not again. Why does this always happen to...
So that's today's Daily Viz Dev.